Hello, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how I made this crochet t-shirt. The t-shirt is worked from the top down in the round. We have raglan increases for the sleeves, then some decreases here to follow the shape of the body. The sleeves are also worked in the round, and then we have a ribbon border around the cuff of the sleeves and around the bottom. For the first part of the top I used a V-stitch mesh, then I used double crochet, and then a simple mesh alternated with double crochet. The ribbing is made with front post and back post double crochet. For this project I'm going to use a lightweight yarn. This one is 100% lyocell. The skein is 200 grams, 450 meters. I have two of these, so 400 grams, and I'm gonna use it with a 3.5 millimeter hook. We're also going to need a measuring tape, scissors, a tapestry needle, and 4 stitch markers. We're going to work from the top down, and we're going to make raglan sleeves. It means we're going to chain our neckline, and we're going to do our increases in 4 places and work at the same time the back, the front, and the 2 sleeves. For the first part we're going to use a V-stitch mesh that requires a multiple of 3, so each part of our neckline needs to be a multiple of 3. I'm gonna do 36 for the back, 36 for the front, and 18 for each sleeve. Take your yarn, your 3.5 millimeter hook, and 4 stitch markers. We're going to chain for the neckline, and at the same time we're going to place our 4 stitch markers in the corner where we need to make our increases. Make a slip knot. We are going to start by chaining half the stitches of the back. So for me that's 18 chains. 17 and 18. So these are the first half of the stitches of the back. Now we need to chain the stitches of the first sleeve. For me 18 as well. And the first of these, it's going to be the corner. So 1, put a stitch marker in this chain, and then continue 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 16, 17, and 18. So these are the 18 stitches of the first sleeve, and they include our first corner. Now we have 36 stitches of the front, the first of which is going to be our second corner. So the first one, I'm going to put a second stitch marker in it, and then keep chaining 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 until you reach 36 or your number of chains. 36 chain of the front. Now we need to chain for the second sleeve, so for me it's 18 stitches, and the first of those is gonna be our third corner. So put a stitch marker, and then keep chaining 2, 3, 4, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Now we need to chain the remaining 18 stitches of the back. And the first one of those is going to be for the fourth and last corner. So I'm gonna put a stitch marker in this chain, the first of those 18 stitches, and keep chaining the remaining 17 and 18. I'll chain all the chains of my neckline. Now I need to slip stitch in the first chain to join in the round, making sure the chain isn't twisted. And I'm going to join in the round with a slip stitch in the first chain. Like this. Now we can start with our first round. Chain 3, they count as 1 double crochet in the first chain, then skip 2 chains, and in the next one we're going to make 1 double crochet, 1 chain, and then 1 double crochet in the same chain. And this is our first V-stitch. Then we're going to skip 2 chains, and in the next one we're going to make a second V-stitch. So 1 double crochet, 1 chain, and 1 double crochet. Skip 2 chains, and in the next one another V-stitch. Continue like this until we reach our first stitch marker. After this V-stitch, skipping 2 stitches, we reach our first stitch marker. We're going to remove it, and in this chain we're going to make our first increase for the first corner. So in that chain we're going to make 1 V-stitch, so 1 double crochet, 1 chain, and 1 double crochet. Then we're going to chain 1 and make a second V-stitch in the same corner chain. So 1 double crochet, 1 chain, and 1 double crochet. This is our first corner. We made 2 V-stitch separated by 1 chain. In that chain space we're going to replace our stitch marker. Like this. This is where we will make the next increase in the next row. We are in the stitches of the shoulder right now, and we're going to continue with the V-stitch until we reach the next corner. So we're going to skip 2 stitches, and in the next one make our V-stitch, and continue until the second stitch marker. After this V-stitch, I'm going to skip 2 stitches and reach the second stitch marker. Here we're going to do the same thing we did in the first corner. I'm going to remove the stitch marker, and in that chain I'm going to make 1 V-stitch, chain 1 and a second V-stitch in the same chain. 1 double crochet, 1 chain and 1 double crochet. Like this, and then I'm going to place the stitch marker again between the two V-stitch. I'm gonna continue in the stitches of the front, skipping 2 stitches and making 1 V-stitch in the next one, and in the 3rd and 4th corner I'm gonna do the same thing I did here. Continue with V-stitches until you reach the 3rd corner. Repeat the increase as we did here and here, and then continue with the V-stitches in the 2nd shoulder, making the last increase in the 4th corner, and then V-stitches in the last 18 stitches of the back. After the last V-stitch, we're going to join in the round by slip stitching in the 3rd chain of the 3 we made at the start. Like this, our first round is completed, and then we're going to turn around. For round 2, we're going to chain 3, going to count here and in all the other rounds as 1 double crochet. Now we're going to make a double crochet in the space between the first double crochet and the V-stitch. So in here, 1 double crochet. Then we're going to skip the V-stitch of the previous row, and we're going to work in the space between the V-stitches, so in here, and we're going to make a V-stitch. So 1 double crochet, 1 chain and 1 double crochet, like this. Skip the next V-stitch and work in the space between the V-stitches of the previous row and make another V-stitch. 1 double crochet, 1 chain and 1 double crochet. Continue like this till we reach the corner. And once we reach the corner, we're going to remove the stitch marker. And in the space where the stitch marker was, we're going to make our increase. So 1 V-stitch, 1 chain and a second V-stitch, all in that chain space where the stitch marker was. And then we're going to replace our stitch marker in the chain space between the 2 V-stitches of the corner. And then we're going to continue making our V-stitches in the spaces between the V-stitches of the previous row. Continue like this till the next corner, the next stitch marker. In the second corner, we're going to repeat our increase. I'm going to make 1 V-stitch, 1 chain and 1 V-stitch. First V-stitch, one chain and a second V-stitch in the same space. And reposition your stitch marker in the chain space between the two V-stitches. Continue like this for all the stitches of the neckline, making the increases in the third and fourth corner in the same way. At the end of the round, in the space between the last V-stitch and the double crochet of the previous round, we're going to make one double crochet and then join in the round with a slip stitch in the third chain of the start of this round, like this. And round 2 it's completed. For round 3 we're going to turn around, chain 3, we're going to skip the double crochet we made in the previous row, and in the space between the double crochet and the first V-stitch we're going to make a V-stitch, like this, and then we're going to continue making V-stitches in the space between the V-stitches of the previous row. Until we reach the stitch marker in the corner, and there we're going to make our increase as we did in the two previous rows, and then continue the rest of the row in the same way. We're going to make the last V-stitch of this round in the space between the last V-stitch and the last double crochet of the previous round. Like this, and then we're going to slip stitch in the third chain of the start. Like this, and our third row is completed. Now we have all the rows we need to continue. From now on we're going to repeat row 2 and row 3, and we'll keep increasing in the 4 corner in the same way we did as the previous 3 rows. Alright, I kept increasing in my 4 corners, and now I've reached my armpit. This is really easy to try it on and see how it's fitting. Mine now measure around 19 centimeters, and now I'm gonna stop working on the sleeve. I'm gonna continue here, gonna add some stitches here and join this part, and keep working only on the front and the back, leaving the sleeve on hold. For the next part, instead of our V-stitch mesh, we're going to make double crochet. So we're going to make one double crochet on top of each double crochet. And one double crochet in each one chain space, the one in the middle of the V-stitch. double crochet on top of the double crochet, and double crochet in the one chain space. We're gonna continue like this until we reach the first corner before the stitches of the sleeve. I've reached the first corner. I'm gonna make one last double crochet in the chain space where we have the stitch marker. Then I'm gonna chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to skip all the stitches of the first sleeve, and I'm gonna make my double crochet in the chain space of the next corner. Like this, and this is our first armhole. You can chain more chains if you need the armhole to be bigger. Now we're going to continue making one double crochet on top of each double crochet and one double crochet in each one chain space for all the stitches of the front until we reach the next corner. I've reached the third corner. Now I'm gonna chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, skip all the stitches of the second sleeve and make one double crochet in the corner, in the fourth and last corner. Like this, and then I'm gonna continue making one double crochet on top of each double crochet and one double crochet in each one chain space for the last stitches of the back until I reach the start of the round. After the last double crochet, I'm gonna slip stitch in the third chain we made at the start. This round it's complete. Now I'm gonna turn around, chain 3 as our first double crochet, and then I'm gonna continue making one double crochet on top of each double crochet. I've reached the 3 chains we made in the previous row, and I'm gonna make one double crochet in each of those chains. 1, 2, and 3, and then I'm gonna continue making one double crochet on top of each double crochet for all the stitches of the front until I reach the other 3 chains of the other armhole. I've reached the other chains of the second armhole, and here as well I'm gonna make one double crochet in each of the chains. 1, 2, and 3, and then continue making double crochet in each stitch for the second part of the back. Right, I finished my second round of double crochet. I joined in the round. Now I'm gonna turn around, chain 3, and I'm gonna continue making rounds of just double crochet in each stitch. Alright, I've worked 5 rows of double crochet and I've reached the largest part of my chest. So now I want to start decreasing. To know how much I need to decrease, I measure the difference between the circumference of my chest and the circumference of my under bust. For me, that difference is around 17 centimeters. So I decided to make 3 rows of decreases and decrease 6 centimeters in each of these rows. I'm going to do the first decrease in row 6, then I'm going to do 1 row without any decrease, the second decrease in row 8, 1 row without any decrease, and the last decrease in row 10. To know how much 6 centimeters, how many stitches 6 centimeters corresponds to, I just need to measure like this and count the stitches I have in 6 centimeters. For me, that's 12. So in each of these rows, I'm going to decrease 12 stitches. To distribute these stitches in the round, we just need to count how many stitches we have and divide that by the number of decreases we need to make. So I counted mine, I divided them by 12, and I got around 13 point something. So I'm gonna do my decreases every 12 and 13 stitch. Alright, my next 2 stitches are my 12 and 13 stitch. So in these 2, I'm gonna do my first decrease by making a double crochet 2 together. So yarn over, insert your hook in the first stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, then yarn over, insert your hook in the second stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through only the first 2 loops. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 of them. So this is our first decrease. I need to make 11 more. So now I'm gonna work another 11 stitches and make the second decrease in the next 12th and 3rd and 13th stitch. 10 and 11, and now I'm gonna make my second decrease in the next 2 stitches. Like this. I'm gonna continue like this until I make all my decreases. I finished my first round of decreases. Now I'm gonna do round just double crochet, and then I'm gonna do the second round of decreases in row 8. I'm starting row 8, and this time I'm gonna do my decreases in the 11th and 12th stitch. 3, 4, 10, and in the next 2 I'm gonna do my double crochet 2 together. Like this, and then I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna make all my 12 decreases. I finished my second row of decreases, then I did a row 9 with just double crochet. Now I'm gonna make my last row of decreases in row 10. This time I'm gonna do my decrease in the 11th and 10th double crochet. So I'm gonna work 9 double crochet, eight and 9, and I'm gonna do my double crochet 2 together into the 10th and 11th stitch. I'm gonna do all my 12 decreases and then I'll be back. I finished with my decreases. This isn't quite as long as I wanted it, so I'm gonna continue a couple of rows just making double crochet. And for the next part we need to have an even number of stitches in a round. So count your stitches, and if you have an odd number you can either make one more decrease or add one stitch. Alright, I finished with my rows of double crochet. So for the next part, first we're going to chain our 3 chains and count as our first double crochet of the round, then chain 1, skip 1 stitch, and in the next one make 1 double crochet. Then again chain 1, skip 1 stitch, and in the next one make 1 double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, 1 double crochet in the next one. We're going to continue like this for the rest of the round. At the end of the round, chain 1, skip the last stitch, and then slip stitch in the 3rd chain of the start to join in the round. Like this, and then turn around. Chain 3 as your first double crochet, and then in this row we are going to make 1 double crochet in each chain space. And then 1 double crochet on top of each double crochet, like this, 1 on top of each double crochet and 1 in each chain space. Continue like this till the end of the row. After the row of double crochet, I'll keep alternating 1 row of mesh and 1 row of double crochet. I've continued alternating rows of simple mesh with the double crochet. Now I've reached my desired measurement. I've done around 12 centimeters and I've reached around my belly button. So this is my desired measurement for my shirt. And now I want to add a rivet border, and I'm going to do it using back post and front post double crochet. So we need to stop after a row of double crochet. For our ribbing, first we're going to chain 3 as our first double crochet in the first stitch. Then in the second one we're going to make our front post double crochet. It means we're going to work around the post of the stitch instead of inserting our hook here. To make a front post double crochet, I'm going to yarn over and we're going to insert our hook in the space between the first stitch and the second stitch from the front like this, and then in the next space from the back like this, and we're going to push the post of the stitch forward like this, and around the post we're going to make our double crochet. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops to make your double crochet. In the 3rd stitch, instead we're going to make a back post double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, and this time we're going to insert the hook from the back in the space between the stitch we just worked and the stitch we want to work, and then in the next space from the front we're going to insert our hook from the front, and we're going to push the post of the stitch backwards. And then we're going to work our double crochet. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Like this, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, completing your double crochet. In the next stitch, we're going to make a front post double crochet. So insert your hook from the front, from the back, and make your double crochet around the post of the stitch. In the next stitch, a back post double crochet. So insert your hook from the back, from the front, and make your double crochet. Going to alternate one front post double crochet and one back post double crochet all the way until the end of the round. At the end of the round, after the last front post double crochet, slip stitch in the 3rd chain of the start. Then turn around, chain 3 as your first double crochet, and this time we're going to do first a back post double crochet, and then a front post double crochet, we're going to continue like this for the rest of the row. One back post double crochet and one front post double crochet. At the end of the round, after the last back post double crochet, slip stitch in the 3rd chain of the start and then turn around. Chain 3 as your first double crochet, and the 3rd row of the ribbon is going to be the same as the first row. So first a front post double crochet, and then a back post double crochet in the next stitch, and keep alternating one front post double crochet and then one back post double crochet. After the 3rd row, my ribbon is completed. If you want to make it longer, keep alternating row 2 and row 1. Now we are going to pick up our sleeves. So take a new piece of yarn, make a slip knot, and we are going to attach it to the center of the under armhole. Like this, chain 3 for your first double crochet. And for the sleeves, we're going to do the same thing we did here. So we're going to alternate one row of double crochet and one row of simple mesh. So we need an even number of stitches in our sleeve. And in the double crochet rows, we're going to make some decreases to make the sleeve a little bit smaller. So now I'm going to do my first row of double crochet and the first round of decreases. I'm going to do around 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 decreases, spacing them out evenly. And if I have an odd number of stitches, I'm going to do one more decrease to make the number even. I ended up making 7 decreases, the last one here at the end of the round, to make the number of stitches even. Now I'm going to slip stitch in the third chain of the start, turn around and make my row of mesh. And then in the next double crochet row we'll make other decreases. I finished the row of mesh. Now I'm gonna do my second row of double crochet, and now that we have an even number of stitches, we need to keep it that way by making even number of decreases. So this time I'm gonna do 4, 2 on each side like this, space like this. I'm gonna continue making these 4 decreases in each of the double crochet rows until I reach my desired measurement for the armhole. I ended up doing 2 more double crochet rows where I decrease 4 stitches. My sleeve now measure around 7 centimeters. I stopped after a double crochet row, and now I'm gonna add the ribbing in the same way as I did here at the bottom, so using front post and back post double crochet. I finished the ribbing of the sleeve. I did 3 rows like I did for the bottom here, and now with the ribbing the sleeves measures 9 centimeters. We need to repeat this for the second sleeve, and then the last step is going to be waving in all the tails left. And here's the final result. Our top finished. I really like the first part with the V-stitch mesh. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!